every week I'd wear them to sports, right? Every Wednesday. Yash, every time he'd see them, he'd be like, "Are those new, bro?"
Hooked on a feeling. I'm high on believing.
Alright, yo, it's your boy Aryan. We're back here with KTMX podcast episode 6. Welcome, boys. How we going?
Not too bad.
Good. I'm glad to be back.
Oh yes. Wait.
Better than
Actually,
ever.
should we redo the intro? But like, you wanted to do the.
Nah, I'm too tired. I can't be bothered to be honest.
He's
I've
too
been
tired.
editing this thing all night. I slept at 4 a.m.
What have you been editing?
On
Shalaby?
the grind,
What have
boys.
you been
Yes.
editing?
What have you been editing?
The Donda reaction.
Oh,
It'll be out by the time we edit this video. So
It's
gonna
it'll
be
be
out.
out before.
like a
It'll
week
be
before.
out before
It'll be
this
about-
one's released.
Yeah, that's another reason why I was like, oh, there's no point doing it because they would have already seen me.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
Mm.
You're already back. There's no. This is the second back. Anyways, no, that video is gonna be bad. Like, we had a turnaround time because of Shalaby and just like instant recording spontaneous.
Wait. No. I want to get this word right.
We were
Spontaneous.
very quick. Spontaneity.
Spontaneity.
Spontaneity. There we go.
Spontaneity.
It's the small wins that matter.
Yeah, exactly.
Small wins that matter.
Anyways, because of that, the boys, we filmed on Sunday and we had it out by what, like Tuesday night. It's crazy.
We were actually going to record the podcast before, and then Donda released, and we were like, "Fuck that."
And we're like, we have to do this. We did a full
we gotta
Spotify
do this.
listen.
Yeah,
It was good. We got Yash on. We got the sunglasses on. Yash found his
so good.
sunglasses, which is
Yeah.
crazy.
If you haven't watched it, you gotta chuck it a watch.
Boys,
You gotta
yeah.
chuck
I
it
mean,
a
we're gonna have timestamps
Some
for
good
like the
bands
best
in there.
moments.
I reckon we
Quick
should compile
with
it
us.
as well, because it is 2 hours of a whole lot
Yeah,
of nothing.
we might make
to
a
be
best
honest.
moments. Maybe
Yeah.
Param, if you want to edit that or something.
I'm not gonna do
Yeah.
that. Someone else can do that.
Param, no one wants to edit it.
We
No one
need
wants
to-
to edit it. We need an editor.
We're hiring editors.
We're hiring editors,
We're hiring
guys.
editors.
Join us.
We need a Yash onto it.
Yeah.
Give it to Yash.
So, I guess one thing that's crazy is the video.
Oh yeah, your new video. Let's talk about
Yeah,
that.
let's go.
Let's talk about
It's
that.
insanity. It's
So, I mean,
insanity.
firstly, I mean, I guess. Well, you want to talk about what's been happening.
And
with
which
the
video
last
is
day or
it?
two?
People don't know what you're talking about.
No, yeah, you
Provide
guys
some
can
context.
give
Provide
context.
some
You guys give.
Alright. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
how many days ago?
Ah,
Alright, you got it.
No, you can do it. Bro.
Okay.
It's okay.
No, I'll do it.
5 days ago? Was it 5?
No, I'll do it.
4
I'll
or
do it.
5? Okay, you got it. Go ahead.
No, I'm kidding. You do it.
Okay. I'll do it. Don't worry about it.
Alright, this is pancake.
No, you
It's
hang
pancake.
Pancake.
This is all pancake. Alright, get into it.
4 or 5 days ago, Aryan released How People View You, and it was inspired by Sneako's How People View You. And
Sir.
the thumbnail and everything was very similar, the content was similar. Was the script the exact same? With your own
Basically.
addition? With your own
A
addition?
little bit of addition, yeah.
You talk about like how you were inspired by Sneako and whatnot. And pretty much that video went crazy. Like
Yeah, it's
people
popping.
were coming from Sneako's video. As in it was in Sneako's algorithm. People
Which is
saw
mad.
Sneako's video and then saw
Yeah.
Aryan's video. That's
Yeah.
fucking-
So last
that's
night
nuts.
we go to bed, right? And I guess America time, people are up and watching like YouTube or whatever, and then 100 views overnight. Man.
Yeah,
Mad.
no, it
Mad.
overtook the highest podcast already. Like,
Yeah.
already.
Yeah. So all you viewers are sleeping.
Yeah.
Sleep, bro.
Please,
Share it
Where
with
the
run
boys
the
at?
numbers up.
Where we at,
Now
guys?
that Aryan's
Run the
one video
numbers
beat
up.
all of our videos.
Yeah.
KTMX podcast.
Yeah.
But that's crazy, dude. Like, it's just, dude, okay, this is what I think. This is my theory, right? And we talked about this before. I think because I put the link of the sneaker video, and it was inspired by the sneaker video with the same title, right? People from my video who watched it went to the Sneakers video, right? And it's like creating like a relationship between these two videos. And then people who watch Sneakers video are getting that same recommended to my video. So like, I think that's what like YouTube's doing right now. Like, oh, this is a direct connection. These two videos are very correlated because audiences who are watching one of them is watching the other one. So we should recommend other audiences who's watching the other one to watch this one.
Yeah.
And that's why we're getting those
Yeah.
people from the Sneaker algorithm.
It's probably because, like, a lot of the people that are watching yours, like a lot of our friends or our connections that are watching yours, go
Yeah.
immediately to sneakers after, just to compare, because they're like, damn, I didn't draw the connection earlier, and now I want to draw the
Yeah.
connection. They go to sneakers immediately, and that's why a high percentage of people who watch yours initially go immediately to sneakers,
Exactly.
and then
exactly.
bam, and then sneakers
Yeah.
come here.
Yeah.
That's mad. Bro. That's
It's pretty crazy.
So, like, Aryan, why don't you like give us a little bit of insight into why you decided to do that video, or how you first decided to come up with that kind of idea?
That's one of my favorite videos by Sneeko. So for me, it was like to like share into that creativity is like great, right? Like I'm inspired by that video, and for the like if a substantial amount of my audience who's Australian viewers, right, haven't watched that content because it's a really long video. Not a lot of people know Sneeko himself as well. You know, no one knows everyone, right?
Compared to you, I mean,
Yeah.
compared to you're amazing.
we're like first name basis, bro.
jokes.
First name, no. So, but like,
yeah. I get what you mean.
yeah. So I wanted
Like a new
I wanted to
audience.
bring that message, right? And then when I was thinking about like how I want to bring this message, the idea all stemmed from how people view you. Initially, the video idea was going to be called Perspective on my end, right? And I just wanted to, the main element that I wanted to do was shaving my head, right? And the idea was like, don't care about other people's perspective, right? Just care about yours. That's what really matters. But as I thought about it, right, and I was like putting it off for a little bit as well. Like, you know, it's like I was gonna do this video right. I was gonna make a script and everything, and I don't script a lot of stuff, but more recently I am with the talking sort of stuff. The vlogs you don't script, of course. So I was like, you know, procrastinating a little bit, and I wanted to talk about this with you guys as well, like how like during the weekdays, like at least last week or the week when I made the video, I went offline social media, so I could like just fully focus on what the task was at hand. And I think that helped me kind of get in the mentality of, you know, really delivering in that video. Because, you know, we get all this noise in social media, and it's kind of like listening to what I'm saying as well. If I'm saying stop eating up all the shit that we see on social media and hear about, read about, listen about, and it's like, you know, when you scroll through each TikTok, you're just gaining more and more trash in your brain, right? It's just more and more.
I mean, it's like you're practicing what you preach.
Yeah. And so I was like, okay, I may as well go offline and get a reset, not only for the video, but for uni and just life in general. And it was a really good week, like a pretty good week. And it made like, because I did it on the weekdays, it made the weekend even better. Because, you know, you get to finally share into all the instant gratification. All of it.
Yeah, alright. Yeah.
Anyway, so the video, the idea, the message, wrote up the script, and I was like, his videos is a bit different. He goes down a different track, but the core content is the same, and the core content is basically what I use, and like some of the funny bits here and there. He did it really concisely, which is like something that I was like pretty like amazed by. Like the power in his words. I think everything that was really powerful in mine was basically from his, I think. And
I think like your addition after, like you did the rewind, and like it was important because it gives your own perspective and makes it fresh. So I think that is actually more impactful because for the people at least, like I had seen that video already before. Right. So for the people who had seen that video, it's not as impactful to see just like what he's saying. Like his words were cool, right? Like, but you'd seen them before, and then it does the switch to your perspective.
Your personal take
and,
on his.
I think that adds a lot more.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, exactly.
I that's great to hear.
Yeah.
That's like sick to hear from like viewers' perspective as well.
No, it was like incredibly well edited as well. It just seemed like such a high class production.
Cheers. Dude, not gonna lie, the mic makes a difference, dude.
Yeah, it does. It does for sure.
How long did it take you to edit that? Like, you reckon?
One night.
Really?
Okay,
Yeah,
that's not too bad.
Tell me how long did Donda
Although
take?
it is a 2-minute video.
It is a 2-minute video, dude.
Well, it took me like 2 nights.
Yeah.
Or 2 days. But half of the day was like
Downloading it.
user error
Downloading.
and computer issues.
Yeah.
Downloading stuff.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
but podcast and that kind of thing is not very complicated.
No, you're right.
I think
It's just like time consuming.
even like on the most basic, like the best thing was having that script on my side. And after writing the script, I went through it. I was like, okay, these moments I'm gonna do it with hair, and these moments I'm doing it without hair. So I know straight away when I get into the edit, and I was thinking about that like consciously. When I go into the edit, I know which parts are going where. I don't need to make the creative process during the edit. I have to just put it together. Kind of like the podcast.
You know what I thought you did?
Yeah.
I thought you filmed it once with the hair, once without the hair, and then once obviously while you're shaving.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like the part you were shaving, you filmed that only once,
Yeah.
but then the other parts where you cut between.
Yeah.
I thought you filmed the whole thing once in each state, and then like just.
That makes
decided
it
later on
makes
to
it
like-
easier, but it's also a lot more footage, and it's harder in post.
Yeah.
Well, no, you're just putting off the decision making
Yeah.
till later.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not really easier.
Yeah. Yeah, in that essence, it's like it took me, even for that 2-minute video, it took me an hour and a half just to record, an hour and a half of content, on and off, and that's like kind of why making those decisions beforehand is it's much easier for you later on as well, because you run out of energy when you're recording. I can't give each take, right? And obviously I'm not only watching his video and seeing how his mannerisms and his inflections, how his eyes move as well, and like looking at the camera, his takes like that. But he did it like his mannerisms, he wasn't thinking about, right? That's natural for him. I'm copying that. So not only when I screw up my words but I did the mannerisms correctly, then I have to do the retake. So for me, a perfect take is I have to copy his mannerisms and the words, and only then do I get that shot. So that's why it was a lot of
method acting, bro.
Yeah.
You had to, that's why you had to cut off the social media before. You had to delve into the character.
Yeah, exactly.
And become sneaky.
Yeah. I think I had a lot of mental clarity after. So I cut off social media like on Saturday, wrote the script on Sunday, and a lot of the ideas, like I'm sitting here and I'm just thinking about the script, and I'm like, you know what? Why don't I reverse it? Why don't I go back in time, right? Back to the beginning. Why don't I split screen it with his stuff, right? And like this will highlight to the audience what I'm trying to say. And these sort of things only came back because like I'm just chilling and I'm not consuming anything. I'm just thinking. So I think those periods of times when you don't have any sort of, I guess when you're not really gaining knowledge or information or just soaking in stuff, that allows you to like look at information that you've had in the past. You guys will probably come up with a lot of thoughts like when you go like in a shower, for example, right?
Yeah,
Why is there
yeah.
shower thoughts?
It's the idea of
Yeah.
Isn't it like the idea of, I think I've heard of it before.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when your mind is in a state of like boredom or whatever. I feel like
You
it's
entertain
a
yourself.
resource
You
of
entertain
a
yourself.
passive video
I
or
mean, you
something.
really don't have anything else to do.
Well, like you start to put things together that you wouldn't otherwise
Yeah.
because your brain has a chance to kind of like, relax and go back inside itself, as you were kind of saying.
Yeah.
And like think about other things that you hadn't necessarily thought about before.
Yeah.
In different ways.
Yeah.
Whereas like when you're being constantly bombarded by music or film or work or whatever
Yeah.
your like your vices, I guess you could say, you never have that opportunity to give your brain a chance to kind of like
Settle
let out
down.
its creative
Yeah.
settle down and let out its creative kind of energy.
Just think. Yeah. But yeah, that was the video. I was pretty happy with how it came out, and yeah. Do you guys what's your thoughts on, wait, can you just give me a second? My camera is about to die. Okay. So I was gonna ask you your thoughts on like, what's your thoughts on like people's opinions and like how much we should value them?
I mean, I feel like, it's all well and good to say you shouldn't at all value people's opinions, but I feel like that's kind of you come from people's opinions provide good feedback, and so while they might not be necessarily a completely factual representation of yourself or what's going on, when they could be damaging to you if you take them too much to heart. If you can create some distance between yourself and the criticisms, I feel like you get an opportunity to have some more insight into your own personality that you wouldn't really otherwise, because it's really difficult to assess yourself from your own biased perspective, right?
No, what you got to realize is that people see you differently to how you see yourself. So even if you think something is right for you, other people may not think the same, and that's why other people's opinions are important to some degree. So you shouldn't disregard them completely.
I think yeah, I agree with both of you guys. I think it's like a balance, like whose opinion should you value? It's like the people who are around you. that like care about you.
People who know you.
And then if you exactly the people who know you, right? But like then like falling into like people's opinions like online, right? And those sort of perspectives. That I think that one could be. It's not like you just don't care about it, but yeah, you got to take it with a grain of salt,
definitely.
right?
I feel like we put we put too much value in them for sure. Like in these people who don't really know us, their opinions of us we put too much value in for sure. But or generally speaking, people will.
Yeah.
But I also feel like if you can realize, like as you're taking in this feedback, if you can realize and put it in perspective and say like, these people are seeing a very specific subsection of me that, especially if say you're like talking about an online video that you're posting, right? They see this specific facade I've created. It is useful to get feedback on this kind of presentation as well. If you come across a certain way that you weren't expecting, people will often let you know, right? And so even if they are very aggressive with their feedback, if you can like, you know, break down what they're saying into a core message and then ruminate on it and see how you feel about it, you might get something valuable which will help you to progress and develop a deeper character if that's what you're doing, or, you know, reflect inwardly about your own self. I don't know. That's my thoughts.
Yeah. Because people can only see a construction of yourself. Like, that's what you're putting out as well.
Yeah. And then it's like that balance between like, are you constructing your true self or facade?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But then I think also it's not just what you're constructing. It's like, you know, on the one hand, we were talking about in I think another episode, you know, people need to realize what they're viewing is not the real person. It's just a facade, exactly, or like a very well scripted thing. And your video talks about that as well, right? With the Sneako's you know, quote that you like put together. Yeah. But on the other hand, the content creator also needs to realize that that's exactly what the person's seeing. They're seeing this very specific self. So don't take the criticism so personally, because that you can't. Take criticism on the character. You can't grow if you're taking every single piece of criticism to heart. You have to be able to create that distance. Yeah. It's difficult. It's much easier said than done. Of course.
No.
Exactly. Yeah. Dude. What else? Should we talk about?
I mean, do we have something a little bit lighthearted to interject?
Lighthearted. Yeah.
I don't know. What have you guys been up to in your? I mean, Aryan's not on holidays, but what have you been up to, Param?
I've been editing thumbnails, bro.
On the grind. We've all been editing. That's all we've been
on the grind. We actually have all been
editing. We've all been editing for the pod. I mean, like, we're just having a little bit of fun, you know. We're just messing around. Like the Donda video, like I think it's more fun for all of us.
Then it will be for me, maybe. Although I feel like there's some good bands in there. As I've kind of
I reckon
there is some.
I reckon it's really entertaining.
I wanna make this like once the video comes out, I wanna post it on Insta. It's like literally just like when The Weeknd says one vocal
and like gets up and he's just walking around.
Weeknd fanboys, and it's like a colon, and then it's just like Param's face like
whoa. You know the part where he like stands up?
No, it's like walking around.
That was beautiful. It's exactly like
the vocals coming strong. The vocals coming strong. You can't lie.
I was gonna post something like the top songs of the album and just not have Hurricane in it.
Oh my
just to piss Param off because I know he'd see the story.
Did you guys see the RDC World about Donda?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, it's good. Watch it. I mean, I'm not going to explain it to you because I won't do it justice. Right. But yeah, it's good fun.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm looking at...
Wait, you know what I want to ask?
Something funny.
Sorry, just before you guys get into it. Do you guys read anymore?
Not. Yeah, go for it.
Like, since high school, do you guys read for pleasure?
I mean, I want to. The last book I read was like only a few weeks ago. It was the not Monte Carlo. You know that book where like people die on the train and there's a detective? That movie?
Orient Express, is it? Is that the one?
Orient Express. Yeah, I read that.
How was it?
I read that. It was okay. It was not like sick.
Throwback vibes to when
like,
and then there were none.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Exactly. Agatha Christie, right?
But that book is wild.
Yeah.
Have
No,
you-
I actually enjoyed it.
No,
I actually enjoyed
And
it.
then there were none.
Yeah,
The
no,
original
that
is
book
even
good.
more.
The book is
The
good.
original is
Yeah,
even
that's what
more.
I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
the original,
Yeah.
the fact that was in print was crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
guess should we?
I haven't seen the
Yeah,
original.
we'll explain. So like
Yeah.
basically, you know how like, I don't know if you remember, but in the like story, there's like
10 little soldiers.
10 little soldiers. So each
Yeah.
time someone dies, it's because it's a detective fiction
Yeah.
crime novel, who done it, whatever, right? Every time
Yeah.
someone dies,
Yeah.
the little
Yeah.
soldier on the table goes missing, right? So it's kind of like a countdown.
Oh,
But in the original,
yeah.
10
Yeah.
10 little black insert word for black people. That's very derogatory.
N-words.
Yeah. And that was
Yeah.
in print. That was
Okay.
that's what the
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
very sensitive.
yeah.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Well, I mean, times have changed,
Yeah.
bro.
It's-
Times have
it's
changed,
accepted back
like
then.
since
Yeah,
then.
it's true.
Yeah,
It's
it was,
crazy.
yeah. But yeah, crazy. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, what about reading?
Yeah.
dude?
Oh yeah.
Nah,
Like,
I mean,
I think...
yeah. No, sorry, Prime. You
Yeah,
go.
you go. Okay, the last book...
Oh, why did you guys just gonna get a room?
Okay, fine. End the podcast now. Here for all that.
Bro, finish it. No, the last book I read, I think, was year 8.
What?
Game of Thrones in year 8. It was
Wait,
like
but you read
it
for
was
like
the
school,
fifth-
but you mean
Well, I
read
still
for
got it.
pleasure?
Oh no.
How did you get through year 12 without reading any of your texts? What?
With ease, bro. With ease. This is the last book. Look,
That's pretty
Look at
fat.
this shit.
That's
Look at
pretty
this
fat.
look at the print.
It's a
It's
fat
tiny
book,
as well,
bro.
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
I got through like halfway, and then like
Yeah.
the periods between my reading were like 1 or 2 months. I forgot the plot because the book's 1,200 pages long. in year eight, I was just bored. When I was bored, I'd pick it up, and then I just forget the plot. It was like I was reading a new book every time I opened the book, right? Right, and I was not seemed to like restart the entire
Yeah, of
series,
course.
so I just left it.
Yeah,
And that's the last time I've ever read a book. I do want to read Dawnbringer. Wait, is it Dawnbringer? Not Dawnbringer. Oh, Way of Kings.
Oh, I'm reading that right now.
Way of Kings.
Wait,
I'm reading it right
It's
now.
so
wait,
good.
what, wait,
It's
what
so
was
good.
it? What is it? What
It's
is
so
it?
good.
You
Way
know
of Kings.
Isaac and Gevi and Kashan,
Wave King.
and
Wave
Wave
King.
King.
Brandon
Yash
Sanderson.
and Nick Dodd. They all
You just said it. You.
yeah, they
Okay,
all love
anyways.
it, and they're like
Okay, yeah,
always
yeah.
like talking about it.
Yeah.
Every time the new book comes
No,
out, they're like,
it's really really good.
yeah.
I read the first two.
Yeah.
I read the first two. I don't remember when. It must have been before Game of Thrones because that was the last book I read. But anyway, it was
Yeah,
I read-
that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. I read the first two, and then like by the time the third came out, 2 or 3 years had passed already, and
You
then
forgot the plot
I forgot
already.
the plot. So I did not want to restart both books, so I just left it.
Yeah.
I just left it. I wanted to read it, but it was too much effort.
I mean,
so
I'm
just
halfway
didn't.
through the first book right now,
Yeah.
and I rate it. It's good.
It's really
But
good. It only gets better.
Yeah, the book I
actually.
read before, I think I told you guys about it, so we might not get too much into it because it's very depressing. But it's about the like a woman who she's like 26 now, and she and it's like her journey escaping North Korea. It's the most depressing thing I've ever.
Shit.
read.
Is she the one who was on Joe Rogan's podcast
Yeah,
as well?
yeah.
That
I
one?
would- if you don't
Yeah,
read
I've
the
seen
book-
that. I've seen clips of it.
It's a short book, but if you don't read the book, I'd recommend watching the Jordan Peterson podcast with her. It's like, bro, I almost cried watching that. It's just so sad.
It's
But
crazy.
also very
Yeah.
depressing.
That's
I've seen clips. It's quite
Yeah.
quite depressing. It's quite horrifying.
Yeah.
The ordeals that
Yeah.
they have to
Yeah.
go through.
But, I mean, in any
It's,
case.
you know what it gives it insight. You know what it gives us an insight
Yeah.
to how privileged we are.
Yeah, for
To be
sure.
living here. Like
Oh,
generally.
I mean, like,
did you hear about the guy
yeah,
who
sorry, go.
stole a painting in in North Korea from
No.
the hotel? So like there was this guy from America who's like I think on a school
Mm.
trip.
School trip to
uh,
North Korea.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't know.
definitely
I
not.
don't know.
It was probably.
Yeah.
I think it was a reporter who went to North Korea, an American reporter.
Right.
Stole a painting and he got
Yeah.
locked up for life.
Yeah, he was for 50 years, but then America like they signed something to get him back to America, right?
Yeah.
But like after coming back to America, like he passed away like within a few
Sheesh.
weeks, because like the conditions that he came in was so
Well,
terrible.
in the book, she talks about this is like 2007 that she's talking about, but
Yeah.
or 2011 or something.
Yeah.
But they literally, their hospitals didn't have any funding. Like the government didn't give the hospital, so they're literally using the same one needle for
Yeah.
every patient. I don't.
Yeah.
That is so
Oh my god.
very bad. Very
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like they don't have
Yeah.
anesthetics. They're literally just crushing up sleeping pills and giving them to like people as anesthetics while they're cutting people open
Yeah.
and doing surgeries, and then they just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's just so bad.
Yeah.
Now the clips.
Isn't it like astounding that a country like this
Yeah,
operates?
you know why? It's because South Korea is
Yeah.
like America backs South Korea, right? But so if
Yeah.
China doesn't back North Korea, then it has no
Yeah.
barrier between an American ally and China. So it's like a buffer zone. North Korea is basically their buffer, so they're gonna support North Korea because then they're safer.
Or otherwise, South Korea can go
Well,
to North Korea. And
Because
America-
South Korea is backed by America.
So if there was ever a
Right.
war, or if there's trade or anything like, it's just geographically
yeah.
advantageous for them to have
Yeah.
a barrier between an American ally and their own homeland.
Yes. Yes, I see what you're saying. Right. Yeah. But like the actual conditions itself is like, I think what's most astounding is that people who live there don't know about the rest
Yeah,
of the
it's
world.
They're so oppressed. They
Yeah.
think that's their life. Like they think that's normal.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I mean, what if that's for us right now though?
Well,
Yeah,
in the book,
That is actually a discussion.
in the book, she goes to South
Yeah.
Korea right after her whole journey. She gets to South Korea and she's like
Yeah.
13
Yeah.
or something. I can't remember exactly, but around that
Right.
age. And they're like
Yeah.
teaching, like they put them into education camps so that they can be re-educated
Yeah.
and put into
Learn.
society. And they have to
Yeah.
like learn a new language
Yeah.
because they just don't have the words for certain things in North Korea, because
Yeah.
they've been
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
suppressed.
It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist.
The government just like
Yeah.
suppresses it.
Yeah.
And so she's like, but then
Yeah.
she's like,
Yeah.
oh, if everything I've learned was a lie, then how can I trust anything you're saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, imagine feeling like that. That's
Oh.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. If everything I learned was a lie, then
Like, how
yeah.
can you trust anything
Yeah.
if you're
She's
fundamentally...
got trust issues with.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have trust issues? Yeah.
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 Crazy.
Yeah. But do you know how she escaped? Like, how did she know to escape?
Right. Because they're so hungry that the only option to get food,
Yeah.
like they just... So like they go into China, right? Because they physically can go to China if they... Like, it's very difficult because of borders and stuff. But, like, because there's guards and stuff on
Yeah.
the border. But it's possible.
Yeah.
And so they thought they can smell
Yeah.
the food over the border kind of thing
No.
or whatever, and they're just super
No.
starving, that kind of stuff. So they're like, okay, we're
Yeah.
gonna go to China.
Yeah.
At least we'll be fed, right? We'll be able to get food, and they're all really
Yeah.
because they're so isolated from the rest of the world. All of the citizens are, well, I mean,
Yeah.
as she says, the citizens are like very innocent and don't really have a good understanding of how the world works outside of their bubble, right? So they didn't know
Right.
what human trafficking was, and so when they crossed
Yeah.
the border, that's what happened. Her and her mum
Yeah.
got sold as sex slaves, basically.
Yeah.
So, and she's a
Shit.
13 or 11-year-old girl, and
And they were just.
Yeah.
They're naive, so they don't even know.
well, they didn't know
they don't know
until
that
well, she.
happens.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't really know about
Yeah.
the idea of human trafficking, or at least that's what she says in the book, right?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that's what happens. And could you imagine, like, that's just heartbreaking, honestly.
You escape, but you don't
Well,
really.
it's even worse
escape.
because in China, well, I mean, at least they're fed, right? But in
Yeah.
China, they're
Yeah. Yeah.
sold off as wives, basically, to farmers or
Yeah.
whatever. And then from there, obviously, they're going to be raped
Yeah.
because that's, like, it's against their
Yeah.
will. They're being trafficked, right? So then, and they can't seek law enforcement. They can't go to hospitals if they get sick because they're not a citizen. They're an illegal immigrant. And if they get caught, they get sent back to North Korea where they'll get executed
Yeah.
because they escaped North Korea. So,
Escaped. Holy shit.
Yeah.
How did she escape back?
so after living in China, then she escaped with this like Christian group. They helped her escape to Mongolia.
Yeah.
They walked through the Gobi Desert on foot. They walked through the
Holy
Gobi Desert to
shit.
get to Mongolia. Then, in Mongolia, then they were allowed to, then they're safe. So then Mongolia, they can get free passage or easy passage into South Korea, and then South Korea, they allow all North Korean citizens to become like South Korean citizens, and they help like re-educate them, and the government gives them money to like kind of assimilate back into society. But as they're going through and walking through the Gobi Desert, right, they all have contingency plans. Like, if we get caught, we're not going back to North Korea, so we're gonna kill ourselves. And
Yeah.
she's literally like a 13-year-old girl. or 11-year-old,
Yeah.
some like that age. She's like ready to kill herself.
Yeah.
And when they finally get to Mongolia, the guards, like
Yeah.
the soldiers,
Yeah.
the Mongolian soldiers, pretend
Yeah.
that they're gonna take them back to North Korea. So they're all like gonna kill themselves, and then the soldiers like, no, we're just kidding. It's like, what the fuck? How fucked up is it? Just because it's a joke.
Why? It's a joke. Okay,
It's like-
yeah, that's messed up. Cause that's the thing, dude. And I feel like that's like, I mean, in a more, I guess, general idea, like you don't know what someone else has been through, like just in the world, right? So like whenever you say something like this, I think it's like it's kind of like even like the jokes that we make like day to day, when you meet someone new and you don't know about their history, making like those sort of jokes where it's like lighthearted, you don't know where it could go, right? I don't know, this was just something that I thought about before, because like it was related to like, you know how the biggest inconvenience that people have when someone, like, you know, you hear like, oh, like someone jumped onto the rails, right?
Yeah.
Like the train track. And everyone's like, oh, dude, the trains are delayed. I'm like, bro,
It's just like,
that's all you can think about. Like, that's messed up,
that's true,
man.
that's true.
Like, yeah, that's the sort of thing, like we take so much shit.
There's
granted
no
as
there's
well.
no empathy.
There's no
empathy for the
empathy,
person.
like, all we think about, we're so selfish, like, oh, dude, like the trains are delayed. No. Who gives a fuck, bro, dude?
Yeah.
Seriously, show some respect. But, and that's just that's a minor thing, right? There's so much stuff that happens in day to day. There's so much hate, so much like just negativity. It's crazy. And then what Param was saying before, like being grateful about what we have. This just shows you, like, if someone like her can like just so many challenges in life, right? So many, just continuously. Whenever you think you're just about done, it just gets worse. It just gets worse, and you're like, you don't have food. You're basically dying. You don't have medicine. When you flee, you're fleeing with the fear of coming back to death. Right?
With a contingency
Everything
plan
you do
as well.
Of a contingency plan of death. That just puts it in perspective for us sitting here in our rooms and stuff, doing whatever. Like, oh my god, lockdown. Oh no, I'm so depressed, man. Like, I can't meet my friends. Like, obviously people have mental illnesses during this time, and that's a different story. But I'm just saying more, just more of like us, like, general, like people like, you know, like the people who don't have the self-control to stay in their home right now. And they just want to go out and break the rules like that, right? Come on, man. It's not even like, oh, like, I'm disappointed or anything. It's like, dude, like you can do so much better. And we have the ability to do so much better. And we face literally no challenges in our day-to-day lives compared to these sort of stories. So why aren't we? You know? And on another note is like, if you ever think you can't do something, dude, literally you can do anything you want to do.
I mean, like
the
the end of the book, like with like the start of the book, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
It's like detailing her journey getting out and getting to South Korea. It's like super depressing, right?
Yeah.
And then the end of the book is
Yeah.
kind of her, like, you know, it's very empowering because it's like she's learning and reintegrating into society and like developing her own thought and all of this kind of stuff. And it's like, you know, you leave the book, you start the book thinking, oh my god, this is the most depressing thing I've ever read. But then you finish the book thinking, oh my god, humanity is like so powerful and amazing, and like we can do better and be like the best people we can be if she could get out of that situation and still.
If
be
she could overcome everything that was in her way, and still become a functioning member of society.
Yeah.
Like she is now.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But yeah, I mean, I guess like we
Yeah.
can, you know, talk more about like, I guess our own kind of, like, I don't know, like lockdown. It feels, you feel like crap, but then when you get exposed to these kind of other things, you realize like
It puts it into perspective.
our lives are.
It puts it into perspective that we really just don't have it that bad at all.
Yeah.
But I feel like
Not at all.
the fact we don't have it bad, we create problems for ourselves in a way.
Yeah.
That's
Like we're like, you know,
Dude, like amid like your brain always comes up with problems. If you think about it evolutionary, we had that edge so that we stay alive, right? If we're always thinking about the problems, then we know we have contingency plans about if something. Yeah, look, dude, I see a bear. Like, okay, first problem, it can eat me, right? Right. Next thing, I see these berries. oh, first problem, I'm hungry. Second problem, I could die from eating these berries, right? So like that sort of thing is like it's like melded into our brain, right? These contingency plans, but more I think more generalized term for it is negativity bias, right? We always have this bias towards negative aspects, right? We don't I think there was a research paper on this. It's like for every negative thing that happens, let's say it's 1 unit, then you would need 5 positive things of 5 units to balance it out, right? So if someone said something bad to you in the morning, right, you would need someone to say, or someone else, or 5 other people to say something good for it to balance out. And that's why it's so much easier to spread negativity than it is to spread positivity, right? Because positivity, you need to keep it going, right? And not only that, it's so much energy required to pass this out, right? And if you're not getting anything back, it's crazy. But that's sort of like, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. And I guess that's why, like, you know, even when, you know, they talk about investing and stuff and, you know, oh, your losses always hit you so much harder than your gains, that kind of thing. And I guess maybe that's why people have, like, this kind of, they develop addictions around investing, gambling, money, that kind of thing. It's like, you're always trying to recover your losses, even if you have tenfold. It's never enough because you always feel like, oh, but I lost at one point. I need to, like, win so much more to make myself feel better.
Not only that, but gamblers, like, they earn X amount of money. They put it back into gambling. They're like,
reinvesting.
Well, I've earned so much money from them. Reinvesting. Reinvesting. Yeah. It gave them that serotonin.
Like,
and then they're searching for it again now.
That greediness.
I mean, speaking of gambling, you want to talk, Aryan, about your time with, you know, in year like 7, 8 with like CS:GO skins and that whole like chapter?
Me?
Yeah, I mean, Param didn't really do it. Did you?
Me? Oh, Param. Well,
I never actually engaged with it, so I don't even really understand what was going on. But I remember it was crazy. Everyone was on that, like Steve and
on that sort of thing.
Yeah,
Steve was big on that. Yeah, dude, I don't really know. Well, I can't really remember. I remember this as a chapter or like doing shit like this, but I don't think I put anything up considerably. It was more like whatever freebies that you got, you would just put that up. But it's kind of crazy how gambling works from such a young age, and that they allow integration into games such as CS:GO, right? Where you can buy a key and you can buy a case, right? And you can unlock it to win something, and generally they're making money. It's a business, right? Otherwise it wouldn't exist. So the fact that they've got everything, all the stats lied out, that in the end it doesn't matter who gets it, right? You spend like $5 on it, and you know you're gonna get like 10 cents.
They make a profit out of it no matter what.
They make a profit out of it. You know, that's how business work. That's why businesses work, right? But yeah, allowing that sort of thing for younger kids, right?
It's not healthy. It's not.
I don't know. I don't know how Fortnite works. Like, how do you get Fortnite skins? Is that just by free, or
you just buy them?
Like unlock them
you
like by buying shit?
You just buy them.
You can just buy them. You buy them directly though, right?
No. I think I don't recall. It's been a while, but you'd buy like a pass, and pretty much that'd like, if you played the game heaps, you'd you'd unlock high levels of the pass, and then at the end you'd get the skin, which you cannot buy, if I'm correct. You can't buy that with just money. You need both the pass, which is money, and you need a lot of time invested. And then there's other skins which you can buy for just money.
Skins are crazy to me. Like, it's literally
skins are crazy.
Like, I don't know, it's like, it doesn't actually change the...
It's cosmetic.
Yeah, it's cosmetic. It doesn't change the game.
It's cosmetic. Dude,
so it's like...
TF2 and CSGO, it's like a couple of pixels and it's $5,000, $6,000. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You say that, right? You say that, but then there's the entire NFT market that's growing.
I actually don't understand NFTs that much, to be honest. Like, I get that it's like cool artsy thing sometimes or whatever, but like, who gives a shit? I don't know. Maybe from my perspective, I'm never spending that much.
It's the same thing. That's literally what I was thinking, dude. It's the same thing. CSGO is a skin. It's pixels on your gun, right? And you have ownership of that asset, right?
No, I'll give you my 2 cents. I'll give you my 2 cents.
Yeah, go for it.
It's a bit weekend, Weekend sold his
Always the weekend. It always circles back to the weekend, one way or another.
I know, but it's really relevant.
The
Right.
weekend
It's
song.
really
Are you getting
relevant.
sponsored by
It's
the
really
Weeknd?
relevant.
That's what I
It's
wanted.
really relevant.
It's really
yeah,
relevant.
dude,
It's
we
relevant.
can't
It's relevant.
drop the weekend
He said-
name this much.
dude, he
We're
said-
literally giving him
He
free
sold-
promotion.
He sold an NFT for 500k,
Mm.
500k USD, and it was a song, and it was like art that was related to the song, and I have that anyway. It was uploaded on
Yes.
Reddit the same day, and it's the exact same
Yes.
copy that the
Yes,
buyer
it
has.
is.
But the
Yes.
difference is that his is claimed as original.
Yes.
It's just an online artwork, but it just doesn't
Like,
make sense.
I'm
to me.
pretty sure.
So if we're thinking
Yeah,
about
so
it,
I was just gonna say, have you guys?
No, go ahead.
Do you know Economics Explained? Like that YouTube channel.
Nah.
No.
Alright, well, it's an Australian guy, but anyways, one of his videos is talking about like art, and it's like rich people don't necessarily use art because they love the art or they care about the artist or any of this. Sometimes, yes, of course, but like it's also a store of value that is non-fungible, which is what the NF stands for in NFT, which means that it can't be chopped up, right? Like it's one unique store of value that isn't
So it's
it can't be chopped up
So it's a
into
tax
smaller
evasion.
parts. Yeah, it can't be chopped up into smaller parts, and it can't be like, and it's like one of a kind, or there's editions, right? So it's like unique.
yeah.
So, yeah, and I mean, I guess like because it can be a store of value, you can then
Money laundering.
trade it,
It is
and,
money
and,
laundering.
you know, do all that cheeky stuff with it. But it's really interesting.
A lot of money laundering.
No, rich friends do like stuff for each other, and then they're like, "Oh, give me 5 million for doing this," and then they're like, "Oh, I'll give you this artwork for 5 million." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's just it's
Yeah,
just
that'll be us.
Yeah.
the artwork is now worth 5
Transactional,
million.
That'll
as
be
well.
us. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's already us.
That'll be
I reckon
us.
we should make a
It's
KTMX
already
podcast NFT, eh? Just the whole each episode we
I
release as
like
like NFT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Nail, when's the new logo coming through, bro?
Yeah, don't
Like
worry,
what?
don't worry about it. I get it. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Don't
What
worry
the
about
fuck
it.
does that mean?
It means don't worry about it. It means you don't have to worry about it. You're doing a lot of worrying right now.
Wait, I just had a thought.
I'm dead.
If we're talking about
Yeah.
NFTs
Yeah.
and like, you know, the digital, you know,
Yeah.
representation as far as like, you know, you're gonna have the image file that's not an NFT, but it's still the exact same thing, right?
Yeah.
What's the difference
Ownership,
between,
yeah.
well, like you could say, I guess the same thing between like a proper Rolex and a fake Rolex, or a, you know, proper Hermes belt and a fake
Yes.
Hermes belt. Just for example, a random example that has no correlation to anything, you know.
𝐊𝐓𝐃𝐂𝐃𝐏, but like I just said his name because he was in
Donda,
the
yeah. Watch
video
the
just
Donda
then.
video,
So
yeah.
that's why I
Yeah,
said
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I was saying 𝐊𝐓𝐃𝐿 and
Watch
Hermes
it.
belt in the same
Yeah.
sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, what do you
So,
where
like,
are
my
you going
point
with
is,
that?
what's
Like
the difference, right? I guess you could say that having a fake,
Quality.
Yeah.
but is it always? What if the quality is the same?
No, it's not quality. It's not quality. It's not
Quality
quality.
is a
It's
big
ownership.
part though. Quality
Quality
is a big
doesn't
part.
matter, dude. If you get the
That's
one-to-one
true.
quality, it
That's
doesn't matter, dude. NFT, you can literally go and just right-click, copy, save.
I'm saying the difference. I'm
No
saying,
one's
I'm
stopping
saying
you.
the difference in person, like with a fake Hermes belt compared to a real Hermes belt. The quality,
Yeah, I
the
mean,
difference will
sure.
be quality.
I mean,
Yeah. But like, let's say you pay half the price and like they still gave you the same quality. Let's say in the back end of the factory where they make the real Hermes belt, you buy the fake Hermes belt, which is made from the same materials, the same machine, and everything. The quality is the same. There's no difference, right? But I guess you know it.
but like,
That's
why?
what's different.
But
That's
what
why
people
do
care
humans
for.
care about that?
It's a status.
Dude,
thing. It's a
Yeah, but
status.
it's a
why?
status thing. it's a stat. No
You
one
find that,
knows.
You find
but
that
you.
the richer someone is,
Yeah.
the less they spend on designer brands.
Yeah.
That's
I
just
mean,
because-
it's an ego thing. It's an
It is.
ego
It
thing.
is.
Yeah. Like, I have real. I can afford... Not that you can afford it, because people can't afford
okay,
it and
yeah.
then still buy it. But I bought real, right? And you think that's... And this is coming back to, like how people view you, how you put your image out there. That I can afford this. I have money. I got clout, you know? I wear designer clothing, which is real. And that's what's really
But
important.
like, you know the crazy thing? Like, for my birthday, I think last year or whatever, I got like some shoes that were like heel
Yeah.
figure shoes, right? And so, and then,
Yeah.
you know, I was wearing them to uni or whatever when we were amazingly in person
Yeah.
back in the day, the good old days, you know. And
G.
Pre-COVID.
Yeah,
and-
back in the day.
and I had these other shoes that I bought, and they're like $30 shoes from like Target that my dad wasn't using, so I took them instead, and they're like white shoes or whatever. And I got more compliments on the $30 shoes
Yeah.
than I did on the heel figure shoes. Like, no one really cares. So
Yeah.
I don't. So
Yeah,
one cares.
I remember I bought a pair of shoes for like $20 in like year 11 or year 12. Every week I'd wear them to like sports, right? Every Wednesday. Yash, every time he'd see them, he'd be like, "Are those new, bro?" Every week you'd be like, those look mad. Are they new, bro?
Okay, well, dude, it's Yash's taste though.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
Man, these are Black
anyways,
Tiger.
well, I was
Black Tiger or
Black Tigers.
Dude, Black Tiger. Dude, it was a Lacoste ripoff. I brought it on the first day of year 11. They were broken by lunchtime. I went home in broken shoes.
Beautiful.
They were broken.
Black Tigers.
I was like,
Black
dude, they're like, people are like, is that Lacoste? I was like, nah, bro. It's Black Tiger.
It's Black Tiger.
They're Black Tigers.
Beautiful.
I think
It was
Black
funny because it
Tigers.
was Black Tiger and it was a crocodile. Yeah. I bought it from India. For like,
India.
Yeah. It was I think it was like $5, $10.
Another then.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad.
Whatever works, bro. But
Yeah,
quality
yeah.
though, quality.
Yeah,
At least the Lacostes wouldn't have
It
broken.
was good. It was good.
One thing I
quality.
want to talk about with going back to the NFT thing is that you can fractionalize the artwork.
Can you? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So like you can have multiple
Right.
owners. Yeah. But like it becomes like it kind of becomes like a stock then, right? Everyone owns a stock and you buy in anticipation that the price will go up.
Wait.
Collector.
But,
One thing
sorry.
that's a
But-
collector, yeah.
Wait, is that the same system of like of fractionalization that they use on like houses or old cars, that kind of thing, where it's like not as like it's not like, so at the end of the day if someone wants to sell the NFT, right, everyone's just gonna get a piece.
Yeah.
But no one actually owned the NFT, they just had like an agreement that they all pitched in, kind of thing. I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say, but
I think
it's not like,
you just sell ownership like a stock.
but
right?
because it's an NFT, right, you can display
Yeah.
it because it's like an artwork or whatever, right? So who has the rights?
Yes,
Does every
yes.
single person have the rights to do that?
I think everyone has the
Okay.
rights. If you buy into the rights, everyone has the rights. I think what's, for example, the Dogecoin image was sold for like, at one point it was valued at $150 million.
Great.
Fantastic.
The
Great.
Dogecoin image. And people bought that, right? Right now it's valued around 80 million, I think. So like the value goes up and down. So it will be like, let's say there's, so sometimes you can sell like 0.1 trillion of NFT. You can fractionalize it into
Right.
that much, right? Yeah, so like 100 billion, right? So there's 100 billion owners, or like not 100 billion owners, there's 100 billion ownership rights. And you can buy multiple. Hopefully in the future, the valuation of this NFT goes up, right? And so people want this ownership now. It's an asset.
It's a stock.
So you can sell for a profit. It's
I know.
just
Tell
like
me what
stock.
you guys think.
Only thing is,
But I reckon,
Yeah.
I feel like when you're going to invest, I mean, I did personal
Yeah.
finance course last year, right? And one of the things he talked about is like,
Yeah.
invest in assets that like produce. So stocks, right?
Yeah.
They're a company, so they're going to produce goods, which in turn
Yeah.
will produce profits, which is, comes back to you. A house, you can get rent, so it's a producing asset, right? Whereas
Yes.
if you have gold, crypto, all of these kind of things, they don't produce anything. They're just a store
Yeah.
of
So it's saying
value.
passive income.
And
Something that has passive income.
yeah, exactly. So the passive income, because it's adding value, that's where its own value comes from. But
Yeah.
like gold doesn't earn anything. NFTs don't earn anything. It's just the fact that other people are valuing it higher and
Yeah.
higher. And so then at the end of the day, someone's going to be left with,
Yeah.
this thing that's overvalued and no one else wants it. But they've just been
Yeah.
like hot potatoing it around because
but I mean, that's like stock as well. Someone buys it.
yeah,
buys.
okay, but a stock is producing something, so it has intrinsic value.
Yeah.
Whereas like gold doesn't.
Yeah.
Dividends.
I mean, crypto-
Dividends.
Yeah, that's what
They
I
don't produce
Thanks, bro. Thank you.
Param comes in clutch with the
I
terminology.
got it, bro.
Wait, what did Weekend say about the dividends?
He hasn't had a lyric about that one.
That's
yet.
why.
Not into the finance yet.
No, not yet. Stay
But
tuned,
maybe
bro.
you should,
Next album, yeah,
that's
maybe,
a
maybe,
market,
maybe,
bro.
maybe.
bit of a guidance sort of thing. Some crypto gives you more crypto.
I don't know. What does?
Yeah. But like, let's say there's like deflationary tokens, which basically mean like as people sell, you get 5% of what they sold, and that gets distributed to the entire market. So everyone gets like a really small piece. But as time goes on, you hold it, you get more crypto of that crypto.
But it's still
It's kinda
still
bullshit.
not a
It's
passive
kinda
income.
bullshit.
It's still not a
Wait,
passive
so it's
income.
called-
You're not getting money out of
A
it.
deflationary.
You're just getting more crypto of what you already own.
yeah.
Wait, it's called a deflationary.
So it's not a
cryptocurrency.
passive token.
But then it's
Token.
injecting
Yes,
more
'cause
crypto
it's
into the market.
it doesn't inject more. You won't inject more. Let's say you start off with 100
Right.
tokens. We'll keep it simple, right? And I bought some and you bought some, 50 each, right? You decide to sell. 10% of that will be separate. So only 40% of it will come back to me. Which I'm buying.
So it's like
of
a
that
fee.
10%,
And then they
5%.
distribute the fee amongst
Yeah,
everyone in the
5%.
network.
5% will be distributed to everyone, and 5% will be burnt, which means destroyed.
Right. So what? That's
And that's why it's
disincentivizing
deflationary.
people to sell.
Oh, and that increases
Yes.
the value as well.
Yes.
Because there's less than. Okay.
Yes.
But why would anyone want that? If you can't, isn't the whole
Well,
point
I
of crypto,
mean-
well, like one of the primary ideas is that eventually we'll be able to use it to replace like forex.
It's pretty much a game of chicken. It's pretty much a game of chicken.
This happens until a certain like market cap. So if you started a billion coins, then maybe we'll stop at like 25 million, or like 20, something like that.
Okay.
So like you, eventually you don't
But
go
then,
all
but
the way
like
down.
you're never going to be able to use it as a transactionary. Like you're not going to be able to use it as money because every time you use it as money, it drops in value. Or like actually it raises in value because the total pool of currency drops.
Mostly all the shit coins use this sort of idea. So like people are like, oh, free money, go to the moon.
Right.
You know, that sort of thing.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, it's all kind of fucking.
Lovely. I don't know. I feel like
But then again, people make like millions. Like if you got in early and you made like $1 million, then like.
you know the other thing is I reckon though one of the biggest things people neglect to think about with investments is like yes, there's an aspect of reward, and most people focus on the reward. Like if I invest in this shitty little startup or the shitty little crypto, because if it raises by 1 cent, that's a 300% increase or whatever the fuck, right? But no one ever thinks about the risk, or at least in our age group.
Like if it decreases by 1 cent,
Yeah.
like you lose the same amount that you'd get.
And not just that, because it's like something's not established, then it has no track record of success, especially I guess with stocks. It was like I was talking to someone from NSB, right? This was like when lockdown was first happening last year, kind of thing, or maybe end of last year. But they were like, getting into it and like using the graphs and stuff to like make day trades and that kind of thing. And I was just like, I don't know, it just was like you can't predict that kind of stuff. And so the risk is just so high because you have no experience and you're gonna get something wrong eventually. I don't know.
But I mean, you get burnt and then you realize, and
Change.
then you move on from that life
A
experience.
smarter man. What is it? What's the saying? A smart man learns from their mistakes. A smarter man learns from the mistakes of others.
From other people's others,
Alright, I feel like we should
dude.
maybe get off the investing talk because
Wrap it up.
people are like,
I think this is.
I don't know.
Little bit of
People
same
Everyone
thinking.
clicked off.
Yeah.
Everyone clicked off. Actually, I had a thing. I wanted to do a thing. Every time we get to this stage of the podcast, I wanted to just drop 3 words. I just wanted each person drop a word, right? And my word for today, asparagus. Okay. Essentially, if you made it this far, then you know the word. You know the word.
Oh,
of the
and
podcast.
we'll keep it secret. We'll keep it secret.
Just
Yeah,
As in,
exactly.
like,
No one
between
knows.
us.
It's just between, and we're not gonna timestamp this or
Okay,
anything,
okay,
right? It's just
okay.
between us. And if you
Okay.
watched up to this part,
You're
you
part
never
of
know
secret
when the
club.
part happens. But it's just
Okay.
yeah. All right,
Okay.
all right. So I had asparagus on my mind for the last few days.
Why?
I
What
like
made
that
you
word.
have it
you
in
know?
your mind?
It's just like the ring, the tone of it. I don't know. Like it's just like asparagus.
Okay.
Like do you know how, like
Great.
like
Great.
it's like a.
You
it's
don't
like
have
a
to
sick
explain
word,
it.
bro.
You can just say it. You can just say asparagus.
All right, man. Say your word then, bro. I'm just pancaking right now so you can think of something because I know you have nothing.
He's
in your
just
I was
head.
gonna say
Able to
pineapple,
participate.
but then you said a fruit already. You said a food already. So now I just sound
Now he's just gonna say kiss land.
Yeah, you. Now you're just
pineapple
copying,
anyway.
bro.
Pineapple.
Oh no. Stuck
I
with
think
it. So if you were gonna say pineapple anyways, why did you have to waffle for so long, bro?
I was waiting for Shalaby. I know he doesn't have any.
I do. I do.
You're pancake.
I have something.
Alright, what was it?
My toast.
The boys support each other.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
My toast is
On the
okay,
intellectual
okay.
things.
great.
All right, good.
I feel like we should wrap
I
it
mean,
up.
not to say that asparagus is not an intellectual
not.
thing.
Yeah,
Alright,
take that in.
alright.
Take that in, buddy.
Alright.
Yeah,
Are we
I reckon
wrapping
we
it
should
up?
finish
Yeah,
up with a
yeah.
Donda chant. Donda, Donda.
Dun. One thing I wanted to say, and this is what we're talking about with Shalaby. I was like, bro, I was in the shower listening to Okay, part 2, bro. That is hype, bro.
Dude, it's better than part one.
hype.
It's better than part one.
Okay.
The Jamaica thing.
Yeah.
I said it.
He's
like,
got the baby.
Dude, the woman makes it very exotic. It gives it an exotic. Yeah, it's
Exotic.
nice.
It's good.
Okay, bro. Okay. What are you doing? A tropical dance?
It's pineapple, bro.
I just like well
Pineapple.
Well, when I'm listening to it, I feel like I'm in Jamaica.
Boy.
Yeah, for real. When she comes on with the African
accent.
accent, dude.
Why? How do you know that
She
she's from
is.
Jamaica?
I just feel like it. It doesn't matter where
She
she's
is.
from.
Is that
Yeah, I
fact
checked
check,
it.
bro?
I
We're
actually
gonna
did
get
check
cancelled.
it.
We got
I
cancelled.
actually
We
did
got
check it
cancelled.
when we were listening. She is from Jamaica.
Okay. Yeah, no, but I was listening to that and I was like, bro, dude, this, and this is at the same time when like the views were rolling in subs from how people view you. And I was like, dude, we're gonna bring everyone to the top with us.
You know what's
All you guys
ironic?
watching,
You
we're
know what's
bringing them
ironic?
to the top.
Yeah,
Get hyped.
You know what's ironic?
everyone, all the subs, bro.
I think
all
it's
the
really
subs,
ironic. I think
all
it's
the
really
boys.
ironic that
Yeah.
we care so much about the view count
Yeah.
on a video titled "How People View You."
Yeah.
You.
It's quite ironic that we're going crazy over it.
It is.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah,
But I mean, it is a
I
mark
reckon-
of
I reckon
progress.
Donda's-
So it's not so like.
Yeah, I think it was yeah. It was not only the views though, but like people commenting like, "Yo, dude, like
Came from sneakers.
keep up the grind, fam." And like someone was like,
But why
"Oh, yeah,
would
this
you
video
care
was lit."
how people think about your?
Yeah.
we had this discussion where like we should
No,
listen
but
to sometimes.
you said no comments online. It should be from people you know.
No, sometimes we should listen to the.
Yeah,
we messed up, guys.
Turn off comments on that video.
Orange a bloody fake. Orange he doesn't mean anything. It's a personality he's constructed. That's what's going on. It's a personality he's constructed. It's a facade,
dude.
facade.
I script everything that I say.
Yeah.
I literally edit it in a program.
This is that's
Exactly.
the part we have to cut out. Put at the start.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
I reckon we should probably end it here.
Man. I did want to say.
Yeah, what did you say?
in relation to Donda, it has.
And roll the outro. No,
It has. It has
Yeah.
grown on me since.
Nah, it's too
since we
long, bro.
listened. No, like not the entire thing, but like
Not the entire album.
I
but, like,
reckon
there's
like
definitely
I
6 or
reckon
7
like,
bangers.
I reckon like about 10 songs.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if the album was 10
Yeah.
songs long,
Yeah.
would have been.
Honestly,
a banger.
even if it was just the
Banger.
first 10 songs.
I think it's still a banger. Yeah.
No, I think what we're saying when we were like watching it, he should have put it into 2 albums. Or even if you just do a double album like
Why didn't he?
Scorpion.
Yeah.
Just have 2 sides, at least
Yeah.
it breaks it up a little bit.
Facts. Why didn't they just like put like the same track on the same one? Like just chuck Jay-Z and DaBaby on the same
Because
one.
then it's like a 5-hour long song.
And,
No, dude, the outro on that song itself is like a minute anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah. So it'd be 2
And just,
minutes
like, cut
longer.
up-
It'd be 2 minutes longer.
I feel like they should snip out all the outros. Like it's chill, it's good the first time you listen to, but when I'm listening to the track, like I don't want to hear like the same,
True.
you know, like
true,
the same
true,
thing.
True. Some songs,
Anyways, dude,
yeah.
we can't be talking about this in the podcast, bro. That was the
True.
Donda
They've already
special.
watched the
True.
Donda special, don't worry.
True.
And no one's
Yeah.
watched this far in because we talked about
Shit.
investing for 20 minutes or 40 minutes.
True. That is true. Everyone clicked off and investing.
We talked about the most depressing shit, and then we went into
Yes.
investing.
Which is the second most depressing shit.
That was probably my bad, lad.
No, it's calm. I found that it was very interesting. So at least
At
in
least
that,
we'll watch it and
in that
enjoy it.
essence.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, think about
That's
it.
what
We don't care
matters
how
because
people
it's
view
not
you.
how
Exactly.
people view you.
Alright. I think we should end
Alright,
it.
guys. It's been your boy Aryan.
It's been Param.
It's been
Thanks,
been
guys.
Param, been Shalaby. Thank you for
Thank you
watching
very
another
much.
episode, and we'll see you next time.
Later.
Thank you for watching, because everyone's definitely watched too.